feel like I kind of woke up with 80s hair. I scrunched it last night and then I slept on it, so it's like, I'm gonna get my shit together, but it's like really gloomy. It's gonna rain and pour all day and just be, so it's a right day for me. I'm not gonna have many days like this left. I'll be on the grind soon, so I'm really excited. In all of this talk and visiting with my friend, I really feel like I know what sitcom I want to write. And I know that, I don't want to say too much about it because I really want to protect my ideas. But if you're like me and you have a military past, as in a relationship with someone in the military, and you were on the other end of it, I think you really like that show, Army Wives. It was a little bit, lifetimey, and it was more of like family oriented. Like, I definitely am gonna raunch it up a little bit and make it more realistic. It's not going to be a Lifetime show. It's gonna be something for like Hulu or Netflix. The realism, I'm gonna stick to the Iraqi war. I want to tell my story, but I don't want to be 100% with it because my fiance, why I don't say his name, why I don't talk about him much, is he has children, okay? And when he passed away, the children didn't know about me. The mothers did, but the children didn't know about me. They just knew that their dad was in the service, and him and their mom, were separated because of that. They knew they weren't together, but like they didn't know that their dad like had this other lady. I didn't know about the kids until he died. It was like a very fucked up situation. Like, clearly, if I knew about the kids before we got married, I would have involved them in the wedding, wanted to meet them, wanted to meet the other mothers, and, become a community. Maybe he felt like I wouldn't accept his kids. I don't know what the reason was, why he kept it quiet, but they didn't know about me as much as I didn't know about them. And I don't ever want to. Their dad is their hero. His oldest son looks identical to him. Like, I can't even look at his son's face. It's like his father walking back into time, because he's now the age Curtis was when he passed away almost. So I'm like, it's scary to me. I can't even talk to the kids, I don't want them to ever know that their family was broken up. As much as they had an idea, they were too little. As far as they knew, dad was at war, you know what I mean? So I try really hard to think of them. I never was his wife. I never ended up being a part of his life. And after finding out all the truth, I never really felt like I knew the real him, or that I was going to be marrying the real person. And so I don't want to damage something good, that came out of it. Let his kids believe him to be loyal and true and, a good daddy. That's the last gift I could give to Curtis. And I don't know if Curtis really loved me or not. I don't know if it was real for him. He left a lot of shit out. I don't think I could have done that if I really loved someone. Just FYI out there. So, I really want to pour all of this healing. Curtis wasn't the only love story I had. I really fell in love with Teddy. Like, he was like the real deal for me. And Teddy was Curtis's best friend after Curtis died. Me and him got really close, and we had this whole secret romance that was like the love of my life. And I want to tell that story too. I want to tell Tommy's story and his family and our friends that, I was close with, that I also lost in the war. I want to touch on 9/11 because I was there. I really want to cover the whole war, kind of like MASH did. I want it to be that time period because that is such a big part of my life. My truth is a lot of other people's truths. Like, you see the movies, like, the struggle to get help for all the shit that they dealt with. That's a very real thing. A lot of people dealt with that. Want to put that in there, too. Like, there are things that I can do with my pain and my story, but I'm not going to tell the story 100% factual. I'm going to twist it because I want to protect the people in my life, but I want people to know them at the same time. So I want to kind of build them into the characters. I'm not going to use the same names or the same places. I would probably create a fake base like they did on Army Wives. I'm just taking the show as a example because I was so drawn to that show. It was around the war that I was dealing with. I was younger than the people on the show, but I related to it so much. Like, just being a part of it. I think they glamorized base life a lot on that show. I'm not going to do that. There really was a lot of cliques and cattiness, and it was very, very high school and very cutthroat on the bases I was at. And I'm going to show that truth. Military life is not what it's cracked up to be, but I'm not going to, like, run it through the mud either. I want to show realistic things because I think a lot of women get in these relationships with soldiers and it's so glamorized. Like, you're going to travel the world and live on base and you're going to make friends and your kids are going to grow up together, and that's not the case for a lot of people. They find military life to be very isolating and very lonely, and they often move around too much to really create long-term connections. And on top of that, the marriages really struggle for how much time they spend apart and how much stress they have on their shoulders. So I really want to do a show about this, and I think this needs to be my focus. Like, maybe that's why I went through all of this shit and why I'm a writer, and maybe what my generation can relate to and heal in their own way. And maybe I can turn it around for the future so those girls, not that you can ever know the truth from a TV show, but they can get more of a realistic view of what they're getting into or what people are getting into the military, because they sign those contracts and they're very young. They're like 18 years old, and all they see is, I'm going to get free schooling, I'm going to get trained, I'm going to travel the world, I'm not going to have to pay bills. But you're going to be facing some really horrific, dark shit, and it's so naive what these boys and girls believe when they enter, and I want to show the truth of that. I want to show their dreams being popped, their realism of what the military life. I want to show that truth when the reality hits. Like, I fell in love now. I have a reason to stay home, and now I have to leave home, and I'm angry about it because that's a lot of the truth. To keep getting sent back in that war when they are trying to start families and side businesses, and they keep getting recalled without a choice. That was a big part of the war. They kept calling you back, whether you were fucked up in the head, whether you had an injury that wasn't really healed yet, it didn't matter. They kept recycling guys and girls, and it did a lot of fucking damage. And I really want to show that in the show too. I want to show death. I want to show the process of what it's like to really be the ones left behind, and the people that are there that have to see it and then come home and see the families of the like, I want to show the parts that are ugly and vicious and cruel and hard. It's going to be really hard to write, and it's going to be really hard to process, but I gotta do this. Like, this is something that's important to me, and so I'm scrapping all my other projects, putting this in the forefront. I'm really just in the mental space about it right now, but I never have been more lit up about something, and that's how I know it's the right call for me. I might need help with this. I really want to bring in other writers, maybe that are soldiers too, that had experienced that war, other spouses, kids that grew up in that time. Like, I really want to interview people, get their stories, and help bring them into the process of telling the truth of this war. It's important to me.